So it's always good to have a local beekeeper, and this is Phil Ratliff, aka Bee-Man, and he's who I turn to whenever I have questions. We're going to try and find the queen here. We're going to take this thing down, and then we're probably going to steal this. This is the first time we've been back to the hive since I combined them, and what we're doing is verifying that we have a queen and a healthy hive. So notice he's using the hive tool in a way that won't damage the hive or damage any other frames.
Look at these, I call them peekaboos. Look how they're lined up looking up. Very seldom will you ever find the queen on frames like this. Normally you don't find your queens running on your honey frames.
So as we inspect the frames, notice how he's doing that. He pulled one frame out, and that left enough space that he could then pull another frame out and look at it. That way he only has one frame out. So you may notice that my hives looks a little different than it did the last time. And what happened was I had to combine two hives. My other hive that when I installed my package of bees, I came back in 3 days to check the queen, and I found that it had a dead queen. When I went to release it from the escape hatch, I noticed a dead bee in there. So I had no queen. I had a hopelessly queenless hive. That hive is never really going to get established or produce a large amount of bees for pollinating or any amount of honey. My three options were to get a queen from somebody, to get a frame of eggs from somebody, or to combine my two hives. And since I didn't have access to the other two, I went ahead and combined my two hives.
What I'm looking for is eggs in the bottom of these cells. That
would tell you the queen's
in here close somewhere. It's a drone. That's right there. There you go, Matt.
Yeah.
You pick an old dumb drone up.
Drones can't even sting you. Their only purpose is to mate with the queen, so they don't never come out of the hive, so they don't have no reason to defend themselves. They have the workers to do that for them. Wow, that's got a bunch of brood on it.
That's what you want to see.
So we don't want the hive to produce another queen, so all these big cells that you can see that are protruding, those are actually queen cells. Just in case of emergency, they're always ready to produce another, turn one of those eggs into a queen, and they do that by feeding them royal jelly. So as he pops them open, there's no royal jelly. We know that they haven't started deciding to turn out into a queen. If there is royal jelly, like you see here, you want to break them open like Phil's doing now to keep the bees from making a new queen.
Pretty much your workers control all of that. They control what's made and who's made and when it's made.
And what they feed them determines what that egg's going to turn into, right?
See, this is all worker brood on this side. You see it's flat, pretty much even with the cells.
There's definitely a queen in there.
Oh yeah, there's a queen. She's working. Seems like when you're looking for her, you can't find her. When you ain't looking for her, she's in the way. Got your honey here, and your pollen, which you see the yellow.
Oh yeah,
in
the white
cell.
and the yellow, yeah.
And then you got brood here.
So all that yellow stuff on the black mat, that's all pollen falling out. If they're all clustering together and you need them to move so you can look for certain things and look for eggs, just blow on them. That carbon dioxide will make them kind of spread out from the cluster.
Look down at the bottom.
White I do see it.
Like a grain of rice, like a teeny grain of rice.
Found the queen. There's the queen, and you can see it's a bigger, elongated bee. And that's the ovipositor, it makes it elongated. And that's a very similar organ to what a stinger is, but instead of putting out poison, it puts out eggs. That is great. Now we know that our hive is healthy and right on track for the rest of the season.
See, when they build on these, like these bottom frames next to the bottom board, you'll see this, don't ever cut this out. When they come in the hive, that's the ladder they climb up at, and then they go on up. So
this upper hatch, that's the one with the candy cork. And if the candy cork isn't eaten out in 3 days, then the lower hatch is the escape hatch, and you would just uncork that and allow the queen to escape. Okay, so we cleaned the whole hive out. You know, we removed the box from the bottom and cleaned it out. And you just want to remember when you're putting it back together that you do everything in the same order, in the same orientation. That's what they go by, so you don't want to confuse them. So I'm putting the entrance reducer back in it. This is just allows them to reorganize back in the hive now that we've taken it apart. And also a smaller entrance is a lot easier to fend than a large one.
See how the your feeder jar's half full? Now a lot of times when you turn it back over, it'll just keep dripping.
Oh, okay.
Only time you can stop the drip is fill it all the way up.
Okay.
And then there'll be a little bit of airspace. That little bit of airspace will give you a good vacuum.